I think the rest of the country has looked on in horror at the savage job cuts that have been inflicted by Campbell Newman here in Queensland, and it follows in the footsteps of Conservative state governments around the rest of Australia who've made life difficult for public servants in my home state of Victoria. I've seen it especially with teachers and nurses. The time has come to run the ruler over these state governments and make sure that state public sector workers have absolute gold standard protections, and as good a protection as anyone else in either the Commonwealth Public Service or in a private company around the country. I mean, one of the things that we know is that in Queensland, conditions that were enshrined in law in collective agreements have now been ripped aside by a government that seems not to understand that you treat people with decency. I'll be moving in Parliament for an urgent inquiry into how we can amend the Federal Fair Work Act to make sure that Queensland workers are lifted up to the same standard of protection, protection from redundancy, protection from unfair treatment from their employers that anyone else around the country will get. It's only going to happen if a majority of members of Parliament get behind it, and that means you need to get onto your Member of Parliament as soon as possible through the website, sign the petition to make sure that they cast their vote in favour of an inquiry to increase protection for Queensland public sector workers. And if we can get this done quickly, and if the people speak strongly, we could have these protections in by the end of the year, and perhaps the best New Year's present that Parliament could give to Queensland workers would be a greater standard of protection against the cuts from Campbell Newman. We're very, very proud to be standing together with the public sector workers and their unions in Queensland to push for this very important change that could turn the tide back and restore some semblance of balance and dignity to Queensland public sector workers.